December 26, 1896, the military court tried Jose Rizal and later found him guilty of rebellion, sedition, and conspiracy. Rizal already accepted his fate upon hearing the court's decision. He was in a calm disposition nearing the time of his death. December 29, 1896, at 6 o'clock in the morning, Captain Rafael Dominguez read before him the official notice of his execution. December 29, 1896, at around 7 a.m., Rizal was transferred to his death cell in Fort Santiago. He received a lot of visitors, including his counsel. Father Miguel Sadera Mata, director of Ateneo Municipal, arrived in the prison early in the morning. Father Luis Visa came with Father Mata, the priest to whom Rizal asked for the image of the Sacred Heart of Jesus, which he made during his stay in Ateneo. Father Antonio Rizal, another friend of Rizal, who gladly eaten a fine breakfast with him, returned in the afternoon to resume his talk with Rizal. L.T. Tavel de Andrade. Rizal extended his appreciation for Andrade's services as his defense counsel. Father Federico Faura had prophesied earlier rather comically that Rizal would lose his head for writing the Noli Me Tangere, and the latter congratulated the priest for being right. Father Jose Villaclara, Rizal former teacher in Ateneo, ate lunch with him. Father Vicente Balaguer accompanied Father Villaclara, ate lunch with Rizal as well. Santiago Matex, contributor in the El Heraldo de Madrid. Teodora Alonso, Rizal knelt before his beloved mother, begging for forgiveness and understanding. The mother and son were separated by the strong grief of the prison guard. Trinidad arrived when Teodora left the chapel to her. Rizal handed down the alcohol cooking stove and whispered that something was inside it. Turned out to be his last piece, Mi Ultimo Adios, written on a small piece of paper. Gaspar Castaño, Fiscal of the Royal Audiencia, had a good conversation with Rizal. December 29, 1896, at 12 o'clock to 3:30 p.m., Rizal is time alone in his cell. He had lunch, wrote letters, and probably wrote his last poem of 14 stanzas, which he wrote in his flowing handwriting in a very small piece of paper. He hid it inside his alcohol stove. The untitled poem was later known as Mi Ultimo Adios, My Last Farewell. Rizal wrote his last words to his parents. My most beloved Father, forgive me for the pain with which I pay you for your struggles and toils in order to forgive me education. I did not want this, nor did I expect it. Farewell, Father, farewell. To my very beloved mother, Mrs. Teodora Alonso, at 6 o'clock in the morning of the 30th December 1896. December 29, 1896, at 4 o'clock p.m. Visit of Rizal's mother, Teodora Alonso. Then Rizal's sister, Trinidad, entered to get her mother, and Rizal whispered to her, in English referring to the alcohol stove, there is something inside. They were also accompanied by Narcisa, Lucia, Josefa, Maria, and son, Mauricio Cruz. Accordingly, Archbishop Bernardino Nosaleta personally delivered the first draft in Rizal's cells at Fort Santiago during the night before his execution. However, the national hero supposedly refused to sign the letter mainly because it was lengthy. Therefore, a shorter draft was provided by the Superior of the Jesus Society in the Philippines, Father Fife. This was according to the testimony of Father Vicente Balaguer, who became Rizal's friend during his banishment in Dapitan. The national hero was claimed to have made some changes in draft before writing his retraction and renouncing his religious thoughts that opposed the Catholic Church. A few hours before he was shot, Rizal signed a document stating that he was a Catholic and retracted all his writing against the church, and the document were asked the retraction. The witnesses to this event were Juan del Fresno, chief of the guard detail, and Eloy More, assistant of the plaza. December 30, 1896, at 5:30 a.m., Rizal took his last meal. According to stories told to Narcisa by L.T. Luis Travel de Andrade, Rizal threw some eggs in the corner of a shelf for the poor rats. Let them have their fiesta too. By 6:30 a.m., Rizal marched to Bagumbayan comments. He in his black suit, black necktie, black hat, black shoes, and white vest, calmly walked from his prison cell in Fort Santiago to the execution site, with LT Tavel de Andrade on one side and Father Estanislao March and Jose Villa Clara on the other side. They walked behind for advance guards armed with bayonets. December 30, 1896, 7 o'clock in the morning. Rizal, after arriving at the execution site at the Luneta de Bagumbayan, was checked with his pulse by Dr. Felipe Ruiz Castillo. It was perfectly normal. Rizal once wrote, "I wish you to those who deny us patriotism that we know how to die for our duty and our convictions." December 30, 1896, 7:03 a.m. With the captain shouting "Fuego," shouts rang out from the guns of 8 Indian soldiers. Rizal, being a convicted criminal, was not facing the firing squad. As he was hit, he resists and turned himself to face his executors. He falls down and dies facing the sky.